22 laps to go. They've held this caution for an additional lap to place Greg Biffle in the lineup. Biffle thought he had beaten Harvick back to the line to get his lap back, and that was not the case. Here's what happened to Mike Skinner on his pit stop.
Guys had a good pit stop, but again, you see Bobby Hamilton Jr. in the 26 car had him blocked in. They had to back it up, and just to show you how good of a good pit stop he had, Jeff Hammond, he still came out in 3rd position.
It was unbelievable because actually the 21 car got done before the 57 car, but because of getting blocked in, instead of being 2nd in line, they're 3rd in line. Gil Martin called his guys and said, hey, you did all you could do. You can't do any more. And the same for Steve Addington. He told his guys, one heck of a job, guys. All weekend you've been great. You've been working really hard. Let's just give it all we got here at the end. So both these teams are very excited and in position right now to make a run for the win.
And the cars that got 2 tires only, Harvick the leader and Jeff Green, will line up 4th. Now Andy Santerre made an unscheduled pit stop, and he'd been running in the top 5 and has now fallen back, but is still on the racetrack, though 8 laps down. Dick?
He ran out of brakes, Mike. That's why he slowed down so precipitously and pulled it into the garage and went into the garage so slowly. They have repaired the car. They got brakes back on it again, but a disappointing end. He had a good shot to have a great finish this afternoon.
Thanks, Dick. Getting set for the restart. Now, Randy LaJoie is at the tail end of the lead lap, but he lines up on the inside, as is his option, I believe.
It's his option. I'm really surprised. I would have stayed in front of Kevin Harvick in that 2 car. As long as you're only at the tail end of the lead lap, you can start in front of the leader. So I'm a little surprised that Randy didn't try to stay up there. He did not pit. Remember, he pitted under green just a few laps ago, took 2 tires, so he elected to stay out. We're going to have us a 20-lap shootout here. 2 tires, some with 4 tires. Randy LaJoie with staying out that time.
So race strategy of no consequence. The strategy is bury that foot in the floorboard and let's go. Harvick brings him down to the green flag. 20 laps to go at Loudon.
I think Kevin Harvick wants to do it right there. Clear that lap traffic, get to the bottom of the racetrack while Jason Keller in the 57's trapped on the outside of Greg Biffle in the 60.
And trouble on Jeff Green. Jeff Green, that yellow car on the right side of your screen, did not get up to speed, and a car goes spinning behind him. It is Mike McLaughlin. Caution's back out.
Mike McLaughlin was in the 8th position. Now here you see a bunch of cars trying to get their lap back. Randy LaJoie, Greg Biffle, they're going to try to get that lap back.
And LaJoie is the only one that's going to make it.
LaJoie gets it back. Greg Biffle does not get it back.
And that was likely a courtesy extended by Kevin Harvick, because as we discussed, LaJoie could have taken that last restart in front of Harvick and chose not to. Now here everybody's stacking up for Jeff Green, who did not get through turns 1 and 2. Steve Park and his old modified buddy McLaughlin get together.
Not a lot of damage to that car. They should be okay. You know, they were on the lead lap. They was in the 8th position. They came in here 5th in points, so hopefully this won't hurt him too bad. A little bit of damage to the rear of that car. They'll need to get in and do a little bit of work on it.
Yeah, he spoiled his spoiler a bit on the back of that car.
These guys, what a season they've had. 1 Talladega and still running around with blank quarter panels.
Let's ride with Mike McLaughlin. Everybody kind of backing up there.
You can hear him feather the throttle because he couldn't go nowhere, and Steve Park jumps on the throttle and just gets into the back of him.
Larry, it's over in an instant. It just feels like it takes forever.
I've talked to Darrell about that. He said it seems like eternity.
Yep.
There you see Randy LaJoie right behind Mike McLaughlin. Free lunch. Come to pit road. You're back on the lead lap. Get you 4 fresh tires, and maybe you can go up there and battle these guys.
Yeah, sure. Get set for the bonus round. That hammer's not near big enough.
He's okay. The 4 wheels is in the right location. Jeff Hammond, not a lot of damage there. Nothing that'll hurt him.
Pushing deck lid down in the back and beating the left front fender out. It seems to be the most concern of anything, to make sure they got clearance and won't be rubbing. But otherwise, it looks pretty good. No tires, no chassis adjustments, just straighten the sheet metal out. Away he goes.
Well, there are a lot of great Saturday night racetracks in this area. Star Speedway runs NASCAR Pro Stocks just down the road in Epping, New Hampshire. Bear Ridge runs the Coops on the dirt up in Bradford, Vermont. And we're going to have a Saturday night style shootout right here. Dick Bergman.
Well, Jeff Green had a horn of sorts on the front of his car when he was trying to get by some of these people. There's some red paint, a little bit of yellow paint off the right front tire. There is no real horn, so what you have to do in a racetrack like this where it's tough to pass, just give him a little nudge. Green was doing just that.
Well, and that's the problem on restarts. You know, Jeff Green's going to restart the race in 4th, but it's like 8th because you've got that full line of lap cars on the inside until you get to the 10-lap rule, which is where it'd be single file. Here with 16 laps to go when they get to green, you have to fight all those lap cars.
The least caution flags ever in a Busch race at Loudon, 4. We've now equaled that.
When they normally come in ones, they come in doubles and triples.
Right. All right, let's try it again. This time we'll shoot it out for 16 laps if it goes green. Kevin Harvick, Jason Keller, Mike Skinner, Jeff Green, Kenny Wallace are the first 5. 10 cars on the lead lap.
Greg Biffle in that 60. He'd like to get his lap back now. He's at the front of the inside line. Green flag.
And that's one car Harvick doesn't want back on the lead lap because he's one of those battling for the points championship. But Biffle makes good on it down into turn 1.
But he overdrove turn 1, slid up the racetrack. Harvick's going to go back to the bottom here. Jason Keller right on the rear bumping of Harvick. Harvick can't mess around long with Biffle.
Harvick lost his momentum getting up off turn 2. Here comes Keller to the inside for the lead. Keller gets it.
Broke that momentum just enough. Harvick wants it back though, way to the bottom of the racetrack. Turn 4 here. Keller gets a little bit loose.
But Keller has a good pull off turn 4.
He was able to stay in the throttle, even though he got a little bit loose over there in the middle of 3 and 4. He was able to stay in the throttle. And remember, he has 4 fresh tires versus Harvick's 2.
Jason Keller becomes the 5th different leader today. And Biffle being inside of Harvick, that opened the door for Jason Keller. These are the first laps that Jason Keller has ever led in 10 starts here in Loudon.
He needs to be smooth here just for 14 laps. He's got those 4 fresh tires. He don't need to get up there and mess with Greg Biffle. Let Greg Biffle have his lap back.
Now it's Mike Skinner who moves up on his teammate, Harvick.
Again, Mike Skinner has 4 fresh tires versus his teammate Kevin Harvick having 2. Those 2 tires, I thought it would have been a great call, but right now it's not looking like it's working out very good.
Jeff?
Mike, one other thing I'd like to point out, go back to the pit stop. Mike Skinner and his guys got to be sitting there saying, oh, me, if I hadn't got boxed in, we'd have been in a position to take advantage of that situation, and we'd be leading this race right now.
Well, now you kind of have to wonder about team orders. Harvick is running for the Busch Series Championship. Skinner is not. If he passes Harvick, obviously Skinner's a money racer, but that's 5 points in the negative column to Harvick if Skinner goes by.
But I also know Mike Skinner. He's going to finish just as high as he wants to finish here.
Just thought I'd raise the point.
Good point, though.
Now Kenny Wallace battling Steve Park. Jeff Green is ahead of them.
Steve Park has worked his way back up through the field. Remember, had that really bad pit stop, lost positions to everybody on the lead lap, but he's worked his way back into 6th.
Jason Keller has cleared Greg Biffle, giving him a cushion back to the 2nd place car.
He's got over a 2nd lead. 10 laps to go, 11 laps to go this time by.
Oh yeah, it's checkout time at Albertsons for Jason Keller. Dick Berggren?
Well, Jeff Green has got his marching orders. He has finished 2nd in the last 2 races they've here at New Hampshire, and his crew has just told him, wear that thing out. Wear it out. He's on it hard, Mike.
Got a lap car just in front of him, Jimmy Johnson, who is 13th, 1 lap down. And time running out. It'll be 10 laps to go this time for Jason Keller. And there's the gap to 2nd place Kevin Harvick and Mike Skinner. Well, we've had 10 different winners this season. Might be number 11 today.
And this race has had 14 different winners in 14 races. Jason Keller not being one of those winners. This car looks so good. He's not running right out of the bottom. He's floating it down in the corner, letting it go up just a little bit in the middle, but he's able to stay in that throttle off the corner. Really helps his front straightaway. And
Larry, this seems to be one of these racetracks where if you don't charge it hard in turn 1, you can get a much earlier pull off turn 2.
There's a lot of racetracks we go to, Mike. This is one of them. If you overdrive the entrance of the corner, it messes the whole rest of the corner up, plus the next straightaway, because you can't get back to the throttle. Almost to a second half lead. 8 laps to go for Jason Keller.
There's the interval. Harvick and Skinner, second and third. Ways back to Jeff Green.
Tony Raines in the 33 car there. He's a lap down. He's in the 12th position.
Only 10 cars left on the lead lap. McLaughlin, the last of those. Last victory for Jason Keller was at Dover last June. He finished runner-up at Nashville, his best finish this season. As Kenny Wallace and Steve Park continue to go at it, this is for 5th place.
This is a battle for 5th place. Kenny Wallace, Steve Park, Bobby Hamilton Jr. just right behind these guys as well in that 26 car.
Well, think where Park beat right now if their pit stops had been up to the par of the other leaders.
Because he passed a lot of cars right after that restart. He went from about 9th or 10th all the way up to 6th. Look at the front of Steve Park's car there getting in the corner. If we notice, we didn't see that valence get all the way down on the ground. Remember, we talked about it in the beginning, the spring rule change. They have to run stiffer springs in these cars now because of the maximum height. They can't get them on the ground and not travel as much.
A new rule for the Busch and the Craftsman Truck Series. And it seems to have worked out pretty well, Larry. We didn't see a whole lot of cars that missed the setup very badly here. There weren't a lot of cars got a lap down early, in other words.
The softer you get those front springs, the easier it is to miss the setup. You get to chasing soft springs, trying to get the car down on the ground, and there's a finer line, I think, between a good handling car and a bad handling car.
There's a look at Jason Keller's lead that he's continued to extend, but the second place battle remains a hot one. Again, these are two teammates. Harvick, who is racing for the championship, Mike Skinner, who is not. They're still fighting second and third with 4 laps to go.
Of course, Greg Biffle in the 60 car there, he's a lap down still, but he's in 11th position. I believe the whole key, Mike, was when Kevin Harvick lost that momentum off turn 2. Jason Keller, his car has gotten better and better as this race has went on, and that seems to be the difference right here with 3 laps to go.
And 4 tires seem to be the right call. The cars that took 2, Harvick is now second, and Jeff Green continues in 4th, kind of by himself on the racetrack.
Right now there'll be 2 laps to go next time Jason Keller comes by the flag stand, and he looks like he's got pretty open racetrack. He should be clean these last 2 laps. Up to over a 2-second lead over second place Kevin Harvick.
Park and Wallace, or Wallace and Park, still nose to tail. They're second and third. Right there behind Biffle. And here's your leader, Keller. In the back straightaway. White flag this time around.
Float down in the corner, don't pinch it off there on the bottom.
See him really diamond the corner, kind of short track style. Let it sweep up in the middle, cut it back down on full power, and there's just 1 lap left for Jason Keller.
We've seen that a lot with this harder tire. The tires don't grip as good, and sometimes these guys have to diamond the racetrack to make the car turn.
Wallace and Park still nose to tail for 5th, and off turn 4, Jason Keller will be the 15th different Busch Series winner at New Hampshire International Speedway, the 11th different winner this season. It's his 5th Busch Series victory.
Harvick comes home second, Mike Skinner, Jeff Green ends up 4th, and Kenny Wallace ends up 5th. There's one happy group right there.
So Jason Keller keeps the string of different winners intact at Loudon, New Hampshire, and we'll be back to talk to him after this.